Or 11.
The answers enough to so she's like, I can't believe you like this class.
Not tall enough.
Otherwise, I'm traditionally.
Not tall enough. I'm not 6 foot, so I'm sad. I'm working on it though, trust. I'll be there eventually.
I mean, 1984.
Hey, really important question. Jeff. This is like the second or third meeting he's
Right.
been here.
This Jeff Estes been here for like 3 months.
It's been a while.
He hasn't been here since we've come in here.
No,
Yeah,
he's been here,
here.
yeah.
Somebody told me Taylor on. He goes,
Thumbs up. We still need the news app. We never got that. I call the meeting to order, 6 o'clock on March the 10th, 2025. Let the record reflect all elected and appointed board members are present and our student rep, Cameron Seeth, is here tonight. And pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have one addition to the agenda, which would be student voice. Is there anything else, Dan?
no, just executive session.
Okay, so can I get a motion to approve the updated agenda?
I make a motion to approve the updated agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. You're first. So I won't go through all the details because we've sent out information. You guys just went through the whole process with us. On Thursday evening, we extended an offer to Dr. Christopher Granger to be our new superintendent, and he is here with his wife and I think one daughter somewhere. We just wanted to welcome you and we're excited. Sad to see Dan leave, but then excited for whatever changes, are in our future. I do have Red Pepper Pizza, everyone. Their owners are awesome. They donated gift cards for you guys, $150 gift cards. So I'll just hand you those. I know. And they also provided a huge discount for the dinners that we had to do each week, and Gracie's Place provided awesome food for lunch for the principals and the candidates this week at a discount. So just a shout out to those businesses because that was really nice of them. And we will have more information about transition activities, things like that will come later. And we'll invite Dr. Granger back again at another business meeting that he can, make a small presentation maybe for us. But tonight we just wanted to welcome you and your family, and we're looking forward to it.
Thank you, we're excited.
Yay. Did you guys find a house this weekend?
Getting closer.
Yeah? If anyone has a lead on a house, let them know.
JJ,
So.
would he like to introduce his wife to everybody else in attendance?
Yeah, we can do that tonight.
This is my wonderful wife, Ty. Our younger daughter is outside.
I saw her get in the truck.
Yeah.
She'll be a freshman, so she's coming.
Yes. And we'll do more once we get farther into the process. So we appreciate you coming. All right, we have no public comment tonight, so we can skip that. We are on approval of policy 2410. I think Laura and Andrea.
Hello, I'm Laura Breen, the Associate Principal at Sultan High School. Where'd you go?
Sorry. And I'm Andrea Garibay. I'm one of the high school counselors up at Sultan High School.
So in order to move forward with our 4-period schedule, we're here to bring an updated graduation requirement based on policy 2410. It's important that we move forward this evening so we can begin registration for the next school year, which starts next month. In your packet, we marked the changes on policy 2410, and you have some one-pagers that might be more viewer-friendly.
And as part of the 4x4 scheduling committee, we also had a graduation requirements subcommittee that started working on this task at the beginning of the school year. Some of the considerations that we took into account when deciding on graduation requirements for an 8-period day, we looked at 9 different districts that had not the 4x4 schedule, because we realized that wasn't what our main focus was on. Our main focus was on how the districts that had access to 8 credits in a given school year. So that's what we kind of compared it to. We also looked at current SHS students and the number of credits they graduated with, as well as the number of credits that current high school students have, and what the difference would be from going from 28 to 29, 29 to 30, and how many students that would affect, and how many students we would need to support with the transition. And then we also just looked at making sure students are, with this change, which was kind of the whole part of the purpose, is making sure students are accessing more rigorous college and career-oriented courses. So again, it's just important that we, as part of this process, update the policy 2410 to reflect this new level of access to credits in the 4-period day, so we can move forward with registration. Laura said next month, but we finalized next month, but we really ideally would be starting this month in like 2 weeks, a week and a half.
Yeah, we have to start educating our students on what registration looks like and get them prepped for that, and then in our advisory, actually have them register, so.
Look at sample schedules and all that kind of stuff. So we are here. Sarah Harkins is also on our graduation requirements subcommittee. So if you have any questions or anything needed for clarification, let us know. I think we actually marked the 2410 policy. I don't know if you guys have that in.
Yes, we all got it in our packets and we all had an opportunity to read it, so. Cameron, do you have any questions?
No.
Marianne?
No.
Isaac?
I do not.
Mike?
Nope.
Michael?
No questions?
I have no questions either, so can I get a motion to approve policy 2410?
Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Motion to approve 2410?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That was easy.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have approval of new Sultan High School courses. Which I'll say while you guys are getting up there, I was so excited to see like new classes, especially the like AP ones, so.
Hi, I'm Catherine Power. I'm the PE teacher up at the high school. And in our department, we are hoping to offer a competitive team sports. So we'd still keep offering team sports, shift the focus to skills and then skill-based games, and then have the competitive sports offered as more game-like play, focusing on strategies, defensive strategies, learning how to actually keep score within those games, and then giving them coaching opportunities and culminating that whole experience by creating their own games. There wouldn't be a prerequisite other than what's already there, so somebody could choose to take regular team sports or choose the competitive team sports. They wouldn't have to take team sports first. It just kind of depends on the experience they would want, like in team sports.
And so it's graduation requirement, but they could take either one.
Yeah.
I'm Kelsey Lupin. I'm an English teacher, and the English department would like to create the evolution of the modern epic. And it's an English elective where you look at like classic epics and how they've grown over time and become more modernized. So we're looking at a lot of dystopian stories, Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're looking at the Marvel universe. So it's kind of connecting more modern stories to the stories that our society is kind of built on.
Awesome.
Good evening, I'm Michelle Fuller. I have two course proposals. My first one is for AP Microeconomics. The prerequisite for that course would be a C or better in geometry because they need to be at about math level 138 at the college level. It is worth 5 college and the high school credits. It satisfies a humanities social studies endorsement for the AA degree, and it also is equivalent to CWI, to the full year of CWI. So that's my first course recommendation. My second one is for AP US History. That is equivalent to 15 college and the high school credits for history, 146, 147, and 148. It goes for humanities, social science, or elective credit. It is AP or college and the high school, so either one of those two.
Awesome, thank you. I have no questions. I think these are great. Cameron?
No questions, I like them. Like
Mary
seeing
Ann?
options.
No questions.
Isaac?
No.
Mike?
No, thank you for doing that.
Michael?
You won't make me pass them, will you?
No.
I wanna take the microeconomics actually, so. Anyway, so can I get a motion to approve new Salton High School courses?
I motion to approve new Salton High School courses.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
guys.
Appreciate the work that went into this. Yay. So you'll be back next study session with some more? Use peer pressure, so yeah. All right, we have Salton Middle School PLC presentation is next. Hi.
Thank you, President Goldner and the board and Superintendent Chaplick and future Superintendent Granger. We are grateful to present to you kind of the things that we have done in our PLCs this year. We brought a variety of teachers who are excited to talk about their experiences along with our board. I haven't done one of these. I think it's just the next.
It's not gonna work because we're going from here.
Oh,
So-
gotcha.
It did work.
And she just, you know.
Oh, no, she
Point
didn't.
at you.
So we'll kind of do a little round robin, and then we'll just kind of speak and share our insights of what we're doing at the middle school level. Pretty exciting things, but I won't be biased at all. So, first, when we got together at the beginning of the year and did our beginning of the year meetings, we set our targets and agenda and goals that we wanted to accomplish for this year.
Our goal is really to understand working in teams
I thought that was the signal. I'm sorry.
more fully. So we were working to understand why we were working in collaborative teams, agree to collaboration expectations, and then continue to work on the 4 PLC questions. And we're gonna give you a little view of what that looked like.
I think you might have to click it one more time.
Kayla's got the line. Isaac's got the line.
It was going.
Identify challenges and share effective strategies to address them. This leads to better instructional practices that directly impact student success. It gives us a chance for collaboration and support. We are able to face diverse needs within the classroom. PLCs create a supportive environment where educators can share experiences, advice, and resources to address these challenges. It leads to our own continuous improvement. It gives us opportunities for learning and reflection, and we can experiment with new methods and continuously refine our practices and adapt to the evolving needs of our students. And finally, it is a great way to improve community within our building. It's fostering a culture of teamwork where we feel valued and connected. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us.
So that's a little bit about what our math department kind of shared a little bit about their experience with that. But this year we kind of switched around our schedule to help further drive our PLC I guess, wanting to improve it better. So we incorporated, on Fridays, we have early release Fridays to help us with getting together with our content teams. So math department meets with math and so forth. And that happens every Friday PLC, along with some district-directed time that we have also incorporated in with that. During the day, we have worked our schedule to where we do grade level teamings. And I know you guys will be talking a little bit about that as well. They're pretty stoked about that. And also with that, we have put in some co-planning time so our special education department and teachers can collaborate with their content teachers to help drive instruction for specially designed instruction for those students. Sorry, I have to exaggerate it for you.
This is an example of our vertical team or content teaming.
Yeah, this is our history.
This is our history group.
Social studies, yeah. I think you might have
It's
to
a
click
video.
it.
Everybody
Hi, I'm
wanted.
Brett Broughton. Brian Swift. And we are the Salton Middle School Social Studies PLC. We're meeting here like we do many Fridays in Brian Swift's room. Last year in our PLC, our department worked on creating essential standards. And to do that, we took all of our state standards and we decided which one of those are going to actually be real. They have readiness, they provide endurance, they have standard assessments connected to them, and give students leverage. So what we did is we looked at all of them and determined if it has all 4 of those components, those are going to be something that is essential. And once we were able to compile those, we were able to start making unit plans on those standards.
Okay, so this year, we've been diving into creating our lesson plans. And as a school, we came up with a template, and we're following that. We've been taking those essential standards that we want to build upon and looking at what was needed prior to that, what are the future leans that will extend beyond that. And what we were trying to do is just build a library that will live beyond us as we all end up leaving this place in history.
One of the unique things about our PLC is we all teach different grade levels. And with those grade levels comes different content. They're learning about different areas in history in each grade. Because of that, we focus a lot more on the social studies skills when we're creating our common assessments. These skills would allow students to be more proficient as a social studies students. So what we'll do is we'll take those skills and we'll build on them. Maybe we're taking focus notes and we're having students work in 6th grade on creating the notes, and in 7th grade on asking questions within the notes. And 8th grade is going to maybe focus more on summarizing the notes to help work on our Abbott skills as well. Maybe in our surge writing, we're going to focus more on the claim, and then in 7th grade more on the evidence, and in 8th grade building on to the reasoning and justification. That's an example of how we build skills within our department.
Plans are effective in the classroom because in one form you can know what you're teaching, why you're teaching it, and what you hope your students will get out with our PLCs. You know what's been taught the year before, and you get to know what is going to be taught in their next year, which will help you inform your plan accordingly.
And that's a quick look at what's been going on with the Social Studies PLC. The rest is history.
We knew you guys needed that one. All right, so we know that the 4 questions that we're trying to answer are, what do students need to learn? How will we know if they learned it? And then what will we do if they did not learn it? And what will we do if they did? This year, we were really hoping in our vertical teaming to get through 1 and 2, although we found that we were really still more at 1, question 1. What do students need to learn? And so we backtracked a little bit. We decided as a whole building that we really needed to develop the unit plans. And from the unit plans, then we can get more into the combative formative assessments. But without having our unit plans really figured out, we didn't feel like we could figure out exactly what we wanted to assess. And then we also came up with how we would move forward on some of the other questions, even though we're not quite done with 1 and 2. So there's another video on the next slide.
An essential part of our learning as a PLC has been to lay the groundwork by going through our standards and evaluating them based on real criteria. in order to identify which standards are essential for students to know. The criteria are readiness, endurance, assessment connected specifically with the SEA, and leverage. And we've rated each standard in terms of whether it's need to know, or nice to know, or something that would be extension or extra information for students. Based on these ratings, we can then build our unit plans using essential standards.
And there you can kind of see a little bit more about our PLC work where we're all on the same page. I mean, one was from our social studies work and this one was from our math department as well. So the message is being met across all of our contents and our teachers are thriving with the work that we're doing.
This is a sixth grade unit plan.
We can skip this one, it just goes back through, that's a math unit plan, if you wanna see it, it's available in there. But we didn't want to, even though that's the work we're doing in our PLC, we focused at the beginning of the year on this question. I'm sure you've all heard the saying that we're all in the same boat. But we believe that we're not all in the same boat, we're all in the same storm, but we all come into that storm in a different kind of boat. And so we didn't want to, just because we're not there yet in our PLC focus with our vertical teams, we didn't want to forget that we really needed to figure out what to do if kids are getting it and what if they're not. And so that was part of building into our schedule, both the co-planning time for co-teaching and then the teaming time. And these guys are gonna talk more about what that looks like because they've done a lot of work in those two other PLC departments. We call them teams. They're still PLCs, but they're PL teams. And so they're gonna talk a little bit more about that. You can go ahead to the next slide. So this is for teaming, what you guys do in teaming.
Oh, yeah. So it was really nice to see what the content areas have been doing, and that's been a focus that we've had since I've been there before. But it's really nice this year to be able to focus on what we can do as a grade level to really wrap around students. And the work that we've been doing consistently from day to day has been incredibly valuable. We've been able to pinpoint areas where, for example, 8th graders are all having difficulty, not all of them, but I did an assessment at the beginning of the year to determine where students were in their ability to read a graph and make predictions from a graph, in hopes of being able to pinpoint their ability really to show off their critical thinking skills. And in doing that, it became really clear that there were areas where we really needed to be focused on teaching our students, because these are areas that can be utilized in every content level. So whether it's interpreting a graph in math or in science, any kind of infographic in ELA or in social studies, it just is really important across all of the content areas. We've also been able to not just academically help students, but also behaviorally. We've been able to meet as a team with students to be able to collaborate on how to best help them. And in those meetings, we have been able to learn really important information that we otherwise would not have known. Reasons that students were really struggling that frankly would be difficult for an adult to go through. And so by being able to have that time with the students, we have been able to affect a really great improvement in behavior. And I think it's been the best this year as an 8th grade team that I've seen before. It's been very helpful.
Kimber Smith, also on the 8th grade team, so just kind of to piggyback on what Amber was saying, we have been really intentional this year. I think at the beginning of the year we were kind of like, what are we gonna do with all this time for our teaming time, because it was new to us, and now I think we would be lost if we didn't have that. So we have been bringing kids in, talking to them. We thought, oh, we'll just talk to them for like 10 minutes. And then we'll get the next one in, and it's been taking, we were probably 20 to 30 minutes with each kid when we were bringing them in. We brought in a group of kids first that were struggling behaviorally or just kind of what we saw in class academically, and great conversations with them. And then we also had the opportunity to bring in kids who maybe are not kind of the ones that you would normally think of that need the the pat on the back saying, you know, we see what you're doing awesome, keep it up. And just kind of seeing the difference in class after we brought them in has been amazing. And then to top it all off, we've also been kind of working as a team with our scheduling our conferences. So we used our teaming time today to make phone calls to get more kids scheduled for our conferences this week. We've been able to use that teaming time to plan for our homeroom. I know you're gonna talk about that in a minute, but we've just, it's really been surprising with how much we are thankful for the time that we have, because at first it was kind of like, okay, what are we gonna do, like 3 or 4 days a week, just kind of with each other, like, what are we gonna do? Yeah, and it filled up really quick. We've been lucky enough to have our SPED teachers come in and give input on kids that we didn't have, and just the time for that we don't normally have in our day. It's been really great.
I think speaking to that, this has been the first year where I've co-taught courses with a general education teacher. So we're including students with IEPs for academics and for other needs in the general education setting and serving them while they're in general education. And I'm seeing students who are doing things that I am so incredibly proud of and so happy to see them do in general education. But the PLC process has allowed us to identify, again, those essential standards, allow me to formulate meaningful grade level IEP goals for students with IEPs, design design instruction that can be delivered within the classroom and then deliver it, and collaborate with my content level general education teacher, the content expert, and make sure that those students' needs are met, and also the needs of other students in the classroom who don't qualify for special education but maybe need some extra support learning a topic, a subject, understanding a skill. And it's been incredibly valuable, and I think it's a great utilization of resources. It's retooling your staff and making your staff more available to meet the needs of your population.
So along with our teaming time, our teams meet 3 days out of the 5 days in their teams, and then they have just planning individually on their other 2 days. And that time is scheduled, they work on intervention plans, so how they're gonna reach kids. They came up with their own systems for moving kids around when they need to pull kids to do reteaches or do extensions. And they figure that out, and they have their classes set so that they know where they go when they're not, when they're go to a buddy classroom for that time. We do Avid Strategies, and then we also do our cell lessons every Thursday during that time. And so our teachers have time on their own to plan it, but then they implement it during the homeroom time that we have built into our schedule as well. So they go together. Teaming is where they plan it out. Homeroom is where they actually have that instructional time to work with kids. That's outside, it's flexible. It's not, they're not missing anything else by being in these classes. They get to do this kind of work, which they desperately need in that homeroom time. And then our co-planning, if you wanna go forward one more. This came about because we were really wanting to go to an and, not an or model for our special education services. So kids are getting general education, they're getting exposed to all the tier 1 instruction that all the other kids are, but then they're also getting the help of their co-teacher in their providing SDI, and even when they're not in a co-taught class, they have that SDI to use for other classrooms. They get to have their peers to feed off of and get more of that peer support from them. And then we're also finding ways to support them in our intervention blocks and things like that. So it's been pretty fun. That part has been, we've been actually meeting in ELA half the day with ELA and half the day with math. We've done, well, we're going on our 3rd coming up next week. 3 pull-out days of doing that with them. We have one more. And so we've learned a lot in that. Math had a really huge, wonderful breakthrough in 7th grade math. They tried a new strategy of stations and co-teaching, and it was just really, really fun to watch because the kids were all engaged, all doing what they needed to. Everybody was getting support. So it's not all been wonderful.
We've had struggles.
We decided we were gonna fail forward. Is that what our theory was for or our slogan for the year? But
It's
if you
hard
go,
work, but it's
worth that.
But it's worth it, yeah.
It was funny for me to hear all of the comments at the beginning of the year of going, gosh, there's so much time, I don't know what we're gonna do with it. And now what we're getting is, we don't have enough time to do the work that we wanna do. So it's really shows the efforts and how hard our teachers are working to collaborate and work together to do what's best for our students.
Can I say one more thing on that, because we're excited about this for next week. We're starting for 8th grade, we're starting to do there are 5 homeroom teachers for 8th grade. So we're starting to do well, it's gonna be a 4-week rotation because we're doing 2 in 1 week. But every Wednesday, we're gonna have them rotate, so they'll go to like an alternate homeroom as a class. So like my class will start with me, Amber's will start with her. And then we're gonna really hit them with like SBA practice, math facts practice, I can't remember what. I think every teacher has one thing that they're really gonna focus on. And so we get those kids for that half an hour to really kind of dig into it. And then the next Wednesday, they'll rotate to the next one. So they'll get the same information, but from their next subject level. And so we have kind of a rotation that we're setting up. So we'll see. Keep our fingers crossed that it works out really well. We're excited about it, but we'll see if it works. I think it's gonna be really good, so.
It's really helpful too, because a lot of the time we set aside instructional time, or we would normally be doing that, skills-based like review and things like that. And so this frees up our instructional time. We don't have to worry about devoting, half of an hour to a specific, record or something like that. And so being able to do that during homeroom, which is really our targeted time to be doing it, has been incredibly helpful.
And if you wanna go forward one more, we'll just wrap it up. So the point is that our PLC work is kind of coming together in 3 different ways. We're doing our unit plans in our vertical teams, because you can't really come together and teach all those things if you don't know what you're teaching. So we do that in our vertical teams. In our grade level teams, we really plan for our interventions and our extensions and just how we'll reach kids, behave in all 3, behavior, social, emotional, and academics. And then our co-teachers are really been super helpful in planning SDI for all our kids. And we need SDI for our kids with IEPs, but actually all our kids need help getting the the pre-skills that they don't have that are missing, and then really laying those foundations, and then also helping support them as they try to take it to the next level. So it's actually been super helpful for all our kids to have those teachers in there. And so all of that.
Yeah, and our BLT worked really hard at the beginning of the year to reset our mission statement for Sultan Middle School exists to empower all students to learn at high levels to become community leaders and global citizens.
And that's it.
Thank you.
I've got a question. Are you gonna do some questions or?
Yeah, you wanna go first?
Sure, okay, yeah. So a couple of things you said, you guys have done remarkable work, and when you think about retiring, this is the hardest part, leaving just such great leadership from all of you guys. But you said something in the real assessment, endurance and leverage, that I'm not sure everybody understands what all that means. And talk about why, just for a minute, why that's so important around the with the essential standards.
Feel free to take it from your standpoint.
I think when we're looking at that, we're looking at what are the skills that are transferable year to year. That's part of the endurance part. Making sure that, I think Scott was talking about it being skill-based and having those. So when we're looking at, is this kind of our green, which was kind of like our important one, that's what we're looking at. Are those things that they're gonna need to know, not just in 6th grade or just in 7th grade, but through high school and through graduation and things like that. So that's kind of what we were focusing on with those.
Yeah.
And does it help in other contents as well?
Yeah, the leverage part. And so do they need to know, for example, inferencing, we've been working on that in ELA, we've been working on that in science, we've been working on that in history and math. So, because we saw that is a need for our 8th grade team. I don't know for sure what the other teams are focusing on, but for our 8th grade team, we saw that was an area that we needed to kind of build that skill for kids. And so we've been trying to do that in all different areas so that they kind of see. And we're trying really hard to use the same language so they know, hey, this is an inference. So that it's not just, oh, I only do inferencing in science. No, you're also doing it in ELA and you're also doing it in other classes.
It's also really important, not just, for getting good grades and doing really well in college. But these are skills that we all know that people need, whatever job they're doing. It doesn't matter whether you are a mechanic or whether you're a teacher or a doctor. You need to be able to make inferences and you need to be able to read infographics and read graphs. And so those skills are transferable high school, college, and beyond, so that people can actually use them in their lives. At least that's my hope. We'll see if it does transfer,
And then,
hopefully.
just a final comment. They've done remarkably well with the schedule. I mean, just the only thing that would hold us back is our lack of creativity, and there's no lack of that. So they've just done wonderful things and fully support that. We still have some buildings that are struggling with that. Just, the elementaries are, Sultan Elementary has grown so much that they don't have the time built into the day, which is so critical to success, and the high school is gonna have that next year. So there's this sort of evolution of trying to make sure we can't just add time, how do we make the time we have work, so.
Michael, questions?
Nope, I'm happy.
Mike?
You're happy?
Yay.
No, wonderful work, and you can really see all the excitement and passion that you all have. And that translates over to the kids, I guarantee it. So I really appreciate all your hard work.
I have no questions. You guys are just doing an awesome job and appreciate you letting us know everything you're doing. Isaac?
I have none. It's been great.
Marianne?
No, good job.
Cameron?
Nope.
Awesome.
Hopefully it'll be good for high school.
We hope so.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's put student voice next. Cameron, that's you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Cameron Skeeth. I'm a senior at Sultan High School, and I have a short little spiel. Sorry, my other rep, Bella Webb, she's right now at HOSA State at HOSA right now. So she's off being all amazing and wonderful. So here's my little spiel for right now. For sports going on at the high school, softball had a jamboree this last Saturday. Went pretty well, kind of trying new things. Since they do have a new head coach, kind of just seeing how players in the coach mesh, that's kind of going on right now. And then baseball has their first game this Thursday, it's away. And that's kind of what sports going on in sports right now. Clubs, HOSA had their state send-off today, so they're off to Spokane. So hopefully some good things there. And then for our ASBs, so at the Sultan High School, we do Turk of the Month and Staff of the Month. So Turk of the Month is voted on by our staff of students. And for February, it is Bailey Gustafson, so proud of her. And then the Staff of the Month at high school is voted by students. So students actually get to vote anyone in the high school they think is just doing a great job and amazing for that month. And this month, for February, last month, was Mr. Wiedemann. So congratulations to him. And then, yes, me and Bella last month did go to our elementary schools. But right now, she's not here and I don't want to spill anything else. So when she comes back, we will share everything of kind of what we've learned to the board. But our next goal is hitting the middle school. Don't worry, middle school, we are coming to you soon. We're working on that right now. But yeah, first we start with our elementary schools and we'll hit our middle schools too. Because we believe we don't just represent the high school, we represent all students in all buildings. So we want to make sure we get all of our voices heard. Okay, that I think is it.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you, Cameron.
Anyone have questions or comments for Cameron? No? All right, thank you. Mold remediation, Charlie.
I get all the fun stuff.
I know, yeah. Everybody else is like positive today and then you're like mold.
So, we have results, we shared those with the board, I believe. The timeline of all the events that have happened with this issue, we had it tested back in December of '22. Received the results that same month. We performed the cleaning protocols per the guidance of the testers. Earlier in late last year, we also had the ductwork cleaned. There was some questions about dust, so we had the ductwork cleaned. There was no, there was some the insulation inside there is deteriorating, but there was no evidence of any buildup of harmful dusts. We had some more mold questions again. once we got back from winter break. And so we had a test company come out again. The test company is actually called Mold Test Company. Creative. So then we had that test done, got the results on January 21st. I consulted with the test company and to see what the levels were like. They were lower than they were last time. Then we tested was a little over 2 years ago. And the mold levels inside were lower than outside. There were some molds that were present inside that are not outside. And so there is the same protocol that we did before, but I'm recommending that we have a company come in that can put more manpower to it, or women power, to do the cleaning and remediation to make sure that it's a complete job.
Okay, I have a question on in the 222 report, it recommended mold remediation, then did we do that?
Yes, we did.
Just wanna make
We
sure.
did that from December 20th to December 29th of 22.
We used our own crew to follow the protocol. So the difference this time would be using an outside crew.
We used a chemical that we also used during COVID that basically it kills everything, called HALT. The company that did the testing again, I asked them about that and they said that's a good chemical, but they recommended a chemical called Biocide. That's what they use. It's proven for molds. So this is something that they're recommending to be used at this time.
Yeah, I think we need to go outside to do this. Michael, questions?
Sorry, are we running dehumidifiers during the rest of the year to try and keep the mold at bay?
Yeah, we use air scrubbers.
Okay.
But the one added thing that we're gonna do to that area is that, that area has been remodeled a lot.
Sure.
We've added separated spaces and created more individual space since I've been here, and before I was here, they did the same thing. Before I was here, when they did it, they didn't make sure that there was a register and an exhaust in the same spaces. So some of the airflow is kind of wonky. So we are getting a quote to add returns where they're missing or registers where they're not as well.
Some of that has been a byproduct of adding more counselors and counseling spaces and needing more private spaces for kids.
Correct.
So you have these single offices that, before, 10 years ago, we had 2 counselors. I don't know how many we have now.
Right, so the area that we're talking is, it used to be room 101 and 102. It used to be computer labs. Tritch and Brumley used to be in those areas, and when we got some new portables, we moved them out there, and we've slowly converted into a conference room and 4 other individual spaces.
More questions, Michael? Mike?
No question, but just want to clarify, so like we talked about earlier, the levels are within or
Correct.
below standard.
Yeah,
Whatever
I'm
they
not
are.
an expert and I'm not gonna profess to be, but when I called them to discuss the results, they said all of the levels were within the parameters that needed to be. There were some molds that were detected inside that weren't outside, and they're in their infancy. So they recommended doing the process again to get them gone before they grow.
Sure. But nothing right now is above any elevated levels this time.
Correct.
Isaac?
We do this, how long does it last for? I mean, they're gonna clean it, but what caused these molds to begin with? Is it just
Well-
gonna come right back?
One thing that could cause it is airflow.
Yeah.
So if you
So you need to fix
have
that.
damp, stagnant air, there's other things that could cause it too. They mentioned the candle burning, the Sensi things, things that perfume might also create a habitat. the main spaces that were mostly affected are spaces that are not even to an outside wall. So that's the stagnant air and some of those things.
Getting more airflow would help all this quite a bit.
Correct.
That's all.
Marianne?
Yeah, I see that the total is $39,480. If we move forward on this, is that a general fund or a capital project fund?
That is a capital project.
Capital project. Would be put there. It's not something that was budgeted for, but that's where the would.
That was my
properly
next
priced.
question. Is this something that we have in the budget this year, or you're asking for an accommodation to the budget too?
We shuffled some of the projects around so that it could be accomplished.
And then can we have that added to the agenda next time? Make sure to get that to Kayla so it's on here where the money comes from and if it's budgeted for.
Yes, ma'am.
Cameron?
My only concern is it safe for kids to be around, kind of thing? It's not gonna bother.
All the levels are below toxicity.
Okay. I just wanna make sure that our staff and students feel safe and not feel like they're gonna be in a gross environment, cause we don't want parents keeping their kids home.
And I guess I would say, not to oversimplify it, but any environment that's doesn't have the right airflow, is not cleaned, can become a habitat for this fungi to grow. And so this is a matter of, I think, being proactive to try to make sure that it gets taken care of.
It is possible because we have a wet climate, so somebody comes in from the rain, wet jacket and stuff, and they hang their jacket up, it drips a few drips on the floor, and over time, there's, like I said, if there's not the air movement that's needed, then it's possible that could be a cause.
All of our homes here have some mold in it. I mean, that's, come on.
Do we have a motion to approve Salton High School mold remediation?
Motion to approve Sultan High School mold remediation.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah, I've been in the counseling office for, not that I wanted to be there, but I had a mask on and yeah, so hopefully this helps, so. Executive session afterwards, we have two different subjects. One is yours, Dan. How long do you need?
He's on his way.
He's on his way, 10 minutes.
Okay, and then I think we probably need 10-15 minutes for the other one. Contract discussion, 10 minutes? 15? Okay, so let's say
It
20.
might even be shorter, but I would say even invite Chris into mine, so he gets an idea of what's going on.
Four.
You said you're happy, Michael.
I am ecstatic.
Keep
Smiles. All right, so let's say 25 minutes executive session. Let's start at 6:50. It's 6:46, guys. So 6:50 we start and we'll go for 25 minutes. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn to executive session.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are.